Are you in the market for wireless headphones? Because if so, these might be exactly what you need. These are the new Vibe Flex headphones from JBL, and today I'm going to be checking them out and seeing how they sound, how they are to use, and if I think you should get them. All of that soon to come, but if you guys could please like and subscribe, that would really help me out as a small creator. I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers and everyone helps. But with all that out of the way, let's get into this. Okay, so let's get into this. What are the basic specs of these headphones? So these headphones have about 8 hours of battery life in the headphones themselves, and then around another 24 hours in the case. So pretty long battery life, definitely as much as you'd need to use in like a day or two. You'll probably go about like, I'd say a week, depending on your usage with using them just normally. As for charge times, it's about 15 minutes. Good charge gets you about 4 hours of playback, which is pretty decent. It's definitely all you'd need to use if you were in a pinch. And then around 2 hours is what it takes to charge them up fully from empty. Okay, so now let's get into how they sound. And to be honest, they don't sound amazing, but they don't sound bad. Compared to like my AirPod Pros, they're obviously way worse, and even JBL's own Pro 2 headphones, they're a little bit worse than. But they don't sound bad, and if you just want a decent pair of headphones to wear to the gym or to walk around work or something like that, these will do perfectly fine. They don't have a great deal of isolation as they don't have rubber ear tips. They do have rubber on the end of the ear tips, but it's not actually like a full like bulb, I guess you'd call it. I don't know what to call it. But it's instead more of just like an AirPod type design, but wrapped in rubber. So it does do somewhat of a seal, but you can definitely hear everything going on around you. So you shouldn't worry about like, I don't know, you don't have to worry about it being too noise canceling if that's even a thing. Overall, not too bad, not too great. They don't have a great deal of clarity in the bass section. There's just not a whole lot of bass. There's no seal, so there's nothing for it to really like force the air with. So it's not very bass heavy, but the mids are pretty clear and the highs are clear too, but it does sound a little bit tinny. It just doesn't sound very full and deep. It just sounds more of like it's kind of the same effect, but not nearly to the same extent as like a phone call versus hearing music played fully. It's just the frequencies have just been kind of squished, and it's not as great on the low and high ends. Overall, it definitely gets the job done, and you definitely won't be disappointed, I would say. The other important part of sound quality is the sound that you sound like. So these both have microphones in them, and they can be used as a wireless headset. So right now, I'm gonna put them in and do some recordings of what I sound like so you guys can get an idea of what it sounds like. Testing. This is a test of the JBL Vibe Flex headphones and their microphone. I'm just gonna kind of talk for a little bit here so you guys can get a better idea of what these sound like. But overall, not too bad. You can definitely hear the clarity of people's voices. It doesn't sound amazing, but for phone calls and like Discord calls or something like that, definitely passable, and people can definitely hear you, and that's all that really matters. Okay, so now let's get into how they are to use day to day. Overall, they're actually pretty good. They are somewhat different to put in your ears. They remind me more of Apple's original AirPods than they do of like normal headphones. They don't have rubber ear tips on them, or it's not really rubber. There's like a rubber seal around what is essentially an AirPod casing. They do stay in your ears really well. They don't actually keep out a lot of other noise, which is unfortunate, but if you like a more open sound, it's actually probably fine for you. One thing that they don't do that would make it really convenient would be if when you remove them from your ears, they automatically pause. I understand at this price point they might not be able to hit that, but still, it's a really convenient feature, especially for like if someone comes up to talk to you, just pull it out, pause, talk to them, put it right back in. Amazing feature. They don't have noise cancellation or pass-through or anything like that, but really at this price point, I wouldn't expect that. It's just something that you may want to keep in mind if you're like looking for something with those. One thing I would also point out is that the controls on the headphones, they're not the traditional pause, play, skip on both sides. One side does volume, one side does basically the same normal thing. So I like it when they both do the normal thing, but some people may not like that, and this does technically add more functionality, just not something I really like. The buttons themselves do work really well though, and they give audible feedback when you tap them, so it's really easy to know whether or not the tap was registered or not. And most of the time it does work. If you go too high, it does like fail to register. Overall, that shouldn't be too big of an issue. As for the actual build quality of them themselves, very high. It's JBL's products. They're all really, even on the lowest end, they do a really good job of keeping everything really sturdy, which I really enjoy. Other than that, just really great quality. They do a great job of like making good quality headphones over at JBL, and these are no exception. Okay, so now let's compare it to something else I've used in the past, just to give you a better comparison of something at this price point. So JBL also makes a pair of headphones called the JBL Live 215 TWS headphones. Basically, it's very similar. It just has rubber ear tips instead of these, and the case is a little bit bigger, I think because of the rubber ear tips. Basically, they sound about the same quality-wise, but these really lack in bass compared to those because they don't have those rubber seals. That does come with some benefits though, especially when you're on a phone call, your voice doesn't reverb as much, and you don't get that kind of sound that sounds like you're talking inside of like underwater or something like that when you have the rubber ear tips in both ears. Other than that, very similar headphones. They're both $60, which is a lot to ask, especially for these headphones. But they do come from a quality brand, and they are very reliable headphones. None of the pairs of headphones that I've gotten from JBL have ever failed, and they've all actually held up really well, like durable, like quality-wise. Like there's no like rubber falling off or anything like that. So I think that it will be a solid pick in that regard. But compared to those, I think that they're both pretty decent headphones. But you could probably go cheaper in JBL's lineup if you wanted to and get relatively similar quality. But with that, let's get into the conclusion. So overall, I think that these are just a quality pair of headphones. They are a little bit expensive for what they are, but it's nothing terribly bad. And if you're running a quality pair of headphones that will last you a while, I really think you should pick these up. They're very decent to use, and they're not going to be anything crazy like AirPod Pros or even JBL's Live Pro 2s, but they do their job, and if that's what you're looking for, these will do that perfectly. That's all I have for today though. If you guys could like and subscribe, that would really help me out as a small creator. I'm trying to make 2,000 subscribers, as I said, and just everyone helps. But that's all I have for today, so thank you so much for watching.